So I've got this tiny little system right here. This is a Rockpals 300. I did have a Rockpals 500, so you can go watch my video on that if you want to see the bigger version of this. But I wanted to try out this tiny little thing to see how well it does just for really easy portable power. Now, this is by no means anything you'd use for emergency preparedness. This definitely fits in a microcap category. I have a video on the solar generator comparisons, and I've created 6 different categories for solar generators to fit into. And from largest to smallest, it's ultra cap, heavy cap, middle cap, light cap, feather cap, and microcap. And this is definitely a microcap little guy. So this could be really useful for charging drones or recharging radios or laptops or getting a little bit more charge onto an e-bike or something like that. And it's very lightweight and it's pretty robust. So we're going to take a quick look at this and see if it's something that could be useful. Definitely not for an emergency, but for portable power. So stick around for this review of the Rockpals 300. I'll put the specs up over here for you to see, but basically this is a 280 watt hour system with a 300 watt pure sine wave inverter that has a 500 watt peak, a solar input from 12 to 24 volts and up to 3 amps for a total input of 72 watts. It's a lithium ion battery, lithium NMC, and so it's got about 500 cycles on it. And it's got one AC outlet, some USBs, and some DC outlets, and that's it. Very simple. It does come with a 5.1 millimeter to MC4 adapter, which is great. And it does come with a car charger and a wall charger. And then I actually got this 100 watt solar panel with it as well. And one of the cool things is it has a little charge controller basically built into it where you can charge some USB devices. But then inside here, I've got this cable right here. Now what's nice is this panel has MC4 connectors on it. And so I can take any cable that has these MC4 connectors and put the distance between the solar panel and this unit. So this allows me to have the solar panel outside charging while this is inside, out of the rain or out of the sun or whatever, and easy to use. Now the biggest thing I dislike about this Rockpals 300, I'll just tell you right up front, is it does not have pass-through or in-out charge capability. And basically what that means is that I can be charging this, but I can't be using the AC power at the same time while it's getting charged. I can use DC power, but not AC power. For me, that's a big no-no. I like to have the in-out charge capability right off the bat with all of my systems, because even for example with my drone, which is something I'd very likely use this for, or my laptop, I would like to be recharging this while I'm using that equipment, so that way when the moment comes that I don't have any more wall power or anything like that, because those use AC power to charge up. I don't always have the option to charge with USB-C, and the USB-C is only 30 watts on here, which is okay, but still kind of low for USB-C output in today's world. I'm going to do a 300 watt load and see how well this handles it. So to turn it on, you just hold the power button until it goes green and then the screen turns on. That's one thing I forgot to mention. I had this sitting for about a week since I last charged it and tested it, and it's gone down by 2 or 3% in that time. So this is something that will need to be charged up regularly. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Immediately we get power. All right, so we're pretty much right at 300 watts. I'm just going to let this run and see how well it does. Well, you can hear the fans running pretty hard. It was non-stop, just about 300 watts the entire time. It didn't go down, and it basically ran for 38 minutes, but it stopped when it had 10% left of the battery. Turning back on, now the screen says 14%. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to draw 100 watts or so. Okay, so it definitely can still run something of a lower draw, but that 300 watt draw is definitely too much. The air that's coming out of here is definitely not super hot. It's definitely cooling very well. I'm surprised how much air this is moving for such a little unit. You can probably hear just how loud it is. It's not really, really loud, but it's definitely noticeable. But you will want to note that it won't drain all the way down to 0% when you're doing a full draw like that. So the unfortunate news is, as far as the inverter efficiency, it only puts it somewhere around 70% when doing a 1 C rate discharge. Now I guess technically it's just over 1 C rate because this is a 280 watt hour battery and we were putting about a 300 watt load on it. There you have it. That's the result for the inverter efficiency at full load. And if you can't drain it down to zero, you can't drain it down to zero. That's just how they've set it up. Well, it's a perfectly clear sunny day. I've got the Rockpals 300 here, as well as the 100 watt folding panel from Rockpals right here. Let's take a look and see what kind of charge it is getting. Now, it's going to be a little difficult to tell, but we're getting 67 watts in right now. So I will go ahead and just leave this out here for a few hours and see how well it does. It's officially been 3 hours now. We're only getting about 44 watts in, and we're already at 73%. But if you can tell where the panel is in the shadow here coming off my hand, you can see that there is definitely not direct sunlight going onto the panel. So I'm pretty happy with how far this has gotten charged in the last 3 hours. It's just kind of a killer to me that I can't use this AC outlet port while this is charging. So for me, it's kind of a deal breaker that this AC outlet doesn't work while this is charging. I'm not sure why they set it up that way, but it is what it is. So it may not be a deal breaker for you, but for me, it's a big problem. I do want to show this real quick. This is in this pouch back here. You can see this red light on. I could be using this solar panel to charge up my phone or anything that uses USB connection, because this is actually making it to usable DC power right here. So that is one cool feature here on this Rockpals 100 panel. It's got some pros, it's got some cons. Pros, very lightweight, very portable, charged very well off of this 100 watt solar panel. I don't know why this isn't a 100 watt charge controller, because then it could charge even faster and charge in about 3 hours rather than about 4 hours. But either way, still worked very well. Again, this is not an emergency preparedness type item. You could possibly run a fridge off of this, but you're going to get a couple of hours at the very, very most. You could use it for a DC fridge. That would work pretty well. You get upwards of probably 6 hours with that, but it all depends on the conditions you're in. If it's a hot, sunny summer day, could be much less. I really wish I could be charging and putting out AC power at the same time, but it can't. I do like this panel. I'll be doing other videos where I test 100 watt panels all against each other to see which ones are the best and the most recommended. So make sure you subscribe for more videos like that. Thank you so much for being here. All of this is to help you be more prepared. If you're interested in solar generators that are capable of running your house, your RV, your cabin, that are portable for backpacking, all those kinds of things, don't forget to check out poweredportablesolar.com. And if you get anything from there, it does go to support the channel, as well as you can become a Patreon member by going to patreon.com/minutemanprep. Thank you so much to all my Patreons. You're the ones that make this basically doable. And you guys, by being Patreon members, are automatically put into giveaways for equipment like this. So thank you so much for being here. Be prepared, and I'll see y'all in the next video.